amazed to watch this actually walk into court because it's not.
Sandra, let's bring in Professor Jonathan Turley, Fox News contributor and a constitutional law attorney. So, Jonathan, non-disclosure agreements in exchange for compensation are crafted every single day. Why is this one in court?
Well, there's a novel question, John. I'm not sure. I mean, this is a Frankenstein case. They took a dead misdemeanor, they attached it to a dead alleged federal felony and zapped it back into life. So many of us are just amazed to watch this actually walk into court because it's not a recognizable crime that any of us have seen. It does not appear to be a federal crime, but that's the theory that Bragg is using. So to go into the Wayback Machine, this state misdemeanor died because of the statute of limitations. Then what Bragg said was, well, I'm going to allege that you did false filings on business records to hide a crime, but he was very ambiguous what that crime might be. He still is ambiguous, but it is assumed to be a federal election crime. The problem is the federal government doesn't view it as a crime. They decided not to prosecute, and most election experts say that this is the type of thing that's failed in the past. So this bizarre indictment is now going to be an equally bizarre trial. And to this day, there's some confusion as to Bragg's actual theory as to what was the exact crime that Trump was hiding from all this.
All right. This is what the Wall Street Journal said about Bragg trying to bootstrap this up to a federal felony. He said, quote, 7 months before the 2024 election, it's a trial that shouldn't happen in a case Mr. Bragg shouldn't have brought. The Stormy affair was sordid business, but the DA's argument is a legal stretch in ways that might bother a skeptical juror or an appeals court. So they're in jury selection for probably the next couple of weeks or so. Will the prosecution find jurors that are favorable to its case, or do you think jurors have already made up their minds to say, as you have said, why the heck is this even in court?
Well, look, this is the worst jury pool that Trump could pull unless you just took everyone at the DNC headquarters. I mean, it is as bad a pool as you can get. Now, that doesn't mean that they throw up their hands. They're not going to try to find someone who likes Trump. That's just, there's not many people available that fit that description in Manhattan. What they're looking for is someone who is independent, maybe a little feisty. You're going to have jury advisors there, looking for people that have great conviction and confidence. They may dislike Trump, but you want people who like the law more. And that's what you're really looking for. You're also looking for what I call a Trojan juror. These are jurors who will lie to get into a high-profile case, and they'll be hiding within them bias and past conduct that they won't reveal. That you can often find out through social media. So there's a lot of work that's going to have to be done in the next 2 weeks.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you have suggested that if you were counseling Trump's attorneys, you would suggest to them that they could instruct the jury that they could convict on a lesser offense, that of a misdemeanor. But if the statute of limitations has run on the misdemeanor, how would that ever happen?
Well, because they've revived this case and reframed it under this felony law. But usually what will happen is that after arguments are over, before the jury gets the case, defense counsel will stand up and ask for the court to consider an instruction to the jury that they can convict on a lesser included offense, misdemeanors. That may be key here, because I'm hoping that there's going to be a couple of jurors that say this is a very weird thing. I don't see the major offense here, but they may find a misdemeanor. For Trump, that would be a considerable victory in Manhattan.
All right, Jonathan Turley for us. We'll be talking to you a lot.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
It's not about justice, it's not about agenda, it's not about mobilizing people, it's about dialing for corporate dollars. These two parties have sold the U.S. government and the American people to the highest bidders.